Ball first and 10 at the 12-yard line of the Seahawks. Sean goes right, has a cutback lane, and he does. He's across the 20, the 25, 30, 35, 40. Here he goes. Are they going to catch him? 40, 35, 30. Touchdown, Seahawks! 12, they're bringing the trophy home. Your Seahawks, Super Bowl 48 champions. Holy catfish! Baldwin's going to throw back to Russell. He's got it! Touchdown! Seahawks! Are you kidding me?
Let's Hawk It Out with your hosts Kevin Porter and Rich Harris.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to an all-new episode of Let's Hawk It Out. Your Seattle Seahawks are finally in the win column. 23-6, Seattle Seahawks over the New York Jets. Rich Harris, what's up? How you doing today, buddy?
I'm doing great. I'm always doing great when we have a win like that. You know, and it's not like the first thing I thought when this game, I want to get it out of the way, was, do the Jets have anything to play for? And they did. They did. Because the Jets haven't been in the playoffs for many years, and they had to win today to even have a possibility. But at least there was a possibility for them to go. So to me, that meant, well, we better have a good ball game and not a team that just doesn't have anything left this year and maybe wants a higher draft pick. So great. I thought we played a team, obviously 7-8. We're 7-8. And we were the better team today. So
yeah, the Jets needed to obviously win out the rest of the season in order to clinch a postseason spot, and they also needed the Patriots to lose at least, I believe, one game. So they were in a very similar situation where we were right now in terms of like needing the Packers to lose. Which I got a question I'll bring up here later on about like that whole like setup and whatnot. On like how do the Packers have a tiebreaker over us? I don't know. I guess we need to bring that up to try to find out some more information. But nonetheless, the Jets go down today. Their playoff hopes are over. Rich Harris. Seattle Seahawks are very much alive going into the final week of the NFL season. Yeah, man. I mean, like, what are your just immediate reaction here to the Seahawks win?
Geno's back, and it's not like he was gone. It's just, you know, quarterbacks have low times, they have higher times. He's at home in front of a good home crowd. I don't know. I just thought that Geno was showing that consistency, that confidence, and just having fun. Did you see him just smiling a lot? I mean, he's calling plays at the line and he's smiling and like winking at the guys. You know, I mean, if you're having fun when you're playing, I think you're going to bring out your best and not over focusing and overthinking stuff. We know what that leads into. And yeah, so initially Geno, and then speaking of Geno, another observation I had, he hit 4,000 plus yards, I guess, today I think that was the first time in his career. And I know that he hit 29 touchdowns, which was more than he had in 4 years with the Jets at 28. So yeah, I thought Geno was on fire with the offense, which was what we were lacking the last few weeks, with that balance between the offense and the defense. And briefly on the defense, I think they were doing well at stopping the run. And we had guys like Darrell Taylor that were bringing it today, coming around like we're giving him some shit. Maybe he's hearing that. Maybe he's hearing those vibes come through the grapevine somewhere where we were talking like, where's Darrell Taylor? Well, he's showing up now.
2.5 sacks, baby. 2.5 sacks today.
He was in there on at least 6 of those plays, I think. You know, maybe it was a quarterback hurry or something, but yeah, he was on fire today, and definitely noted that.
I really thought like having Al Woods back in the lineup was like a nice, good injection into the defense in terms of that defensive lineup there, and like really getting up, towards the quarterback up, and fucking Mike White's day up totally, dude, because he didn't have a good day. Mike White did not have a good day as the quarterback of the New York Jets today, Rich.
Well, their running back started out with, I was starting to think, okay, there's all those holes we're talking about, and
that Swiss cheese.
That's right. I mean, that's just our verbiage, I guess, and it's going to stick. But that's where it started out. There was a lot of open areas, and the running back was just starting to have a game on us. And then for some reason, we started stuffing that run a little bit better. And oh man, it was too bad seeing Jordan Brooks go down.
That one looked like it hurt, dude. Like he just bounced off that tight end, dude. Like it was like just boom. You're like, oh shit, he's hurt. Immediately, he's hurt.
It seemed like he had a lot of momentum going, and then his leg planted. And when all that all that force has to go somewhere. And I don't think it tore out an ACL or an MCL. It's my understanding that Jordan Brooks, they said he was out for the game, but not necessarily for the season. So we'll have to stay tuned on that. Yeah,
exactly. Which, we're recording like right after the game is over. So, we haven't even heard Coach Pete Carroll's post-game press conference yet. So we'll find out more as the week goes along in terms of where his knee stands going into the final week there. Man, it's really cool to see Geno Smith coming in and breaking career, records in terms of his passing yards, along also with touchdowns. I mean, he's obviously on his game. I did kind of think that he was lacking kind of in that third and fourth quarter, because as you saw, we scored our 2 touchdowns in the first half. We had 10 points in the first quarter, 7 points in the second quarter. And unfortunately, that's all we needed, obviously, in any given Sunday, dude. We just need to score more points than the other team. But, unfortunately, only getting 2 field goals within the third and fourth quarter. So, in which we had many opportunities to come in and get more points and just totally put this game out of reach for the New York Jets. But we did. I felt like we did see a little bit of the same old that we had been seeing in the previous weeks. But obviously, this week it turned out in our favor.
They had, from everything I heard and read, and from even the commentators before the game, that the Jets have a good defense. They've demonstrated a good defense this year. So you got 2 defenses going against each other, and then our offense finally decides to sputter out some points, so to speak. So I was definitely equally as frustrated. I want some insurance. I want more touchdowns. I want like 3 scores when they're not producing on their end, and we get the opportunity. Yeah, we still could have done better. Our offense could have had more opportunity to score even more, and we didn't. But I think that's a reflection of their defense and our defense as well, with that defensive battle. And again, the defense kept us in the game again. It's just that our offense managed to muster out some points this time.
Yeah, I know. Sauce Gardner, we saw his name all day on the broadcast there. I mean, obviously getting the in comparison to Tyreek Woolen, both Pro Bowl rookies coming out of their first year season in the NFL.
Played side by side at Cincinnati. Yeah. They're on the same team together, side by side. They were left and right, or right and left, is what those
I thought it was Kobe Bryant played on.
Oh, maybe it was. Do I get him confused? Okay.
Which I was gonna bring that up, because I thought that's cool how Kobe Bryant played with Sauce Gardner last year, and because they made the mention, they were like talking about how he played they were playing the bowl game last year together. Yeah. And now Tyreek Woolen is just as good as Sauce Gardner. Obviously, he's a good player and whatnot. So it's cool to see the comparisons up there.
It is, and I did get that the wires crossed a little, because I knew that Kobe, or that the teammates were playing together from Cincinnati today, and they're both rookies. I remember that part. So I did. But Tariq, he's a rookie. Obviously, he had a couple of chances for those 7th, maybe even 8th.
He almost had it. He almost had the interception. Yeah, he almost had those.
So, but man, exciting to see. Again, I'm not gonna, just because Sauce Gardner has a fancy name. I usually think those fancy name guys, they're not going to turn into nothing, because they're going to
some sauce.
He's going to turn into an ego. He's probably going to turn into an ego. I've never heard an interview. He might be grounded. Guys like we have, like Tyreek Woolen and Kobe Bryant, they're grounded. They're the Seahawks type humble guys. But speaking of that, Sauce Gardner, he's covering DK Metcalf the whole time. Yeah. So that speaks volumes.
Talk about a shutout today for DK. Let me
tell you, DK was quiet, and I don't know if that's. And I saw most of the time Sauce was just blanketing him. So kudos to Sauce for good defensive coverage and being a rookie that can bring it, like our rookie Tyreek Woolen.
Yeah, dude. When we were when they were showing the shots of Sauce Gardner and DK, there was at one point during the game where we saw DK Metcalf getting a little pushy there with Sauce and whatnot, and pushing it up with the refs a little too much, which is something I know we have talked about in the past, and I wanted to talk about it on the last episode, but we totally spaced it. Was DK, man, he needs to be careful out there, dude. They straight up said on the broadcast that he has the most penalties of any skills player out there in terms of just offensive penalties like that, dude. Because he gets a little hot headed, and man, we need him to go out there and keep his head down a little bit more. I like to think, dude, in terms of drawing those penalties against us.
I hate to use this word on him, but he just has to show a little bit more maturity, man, because the refs right now won't even talk to him. Like, he can't even plead their case. He's on their list to just, he's known problem, just flag him. Yeah. So he even said that in his press conferences. He was like, they're not even going to ask him questions or let him ask questions. If he's subject to any of this bullshit, they're just going to go, oh yeah, it's him. Flag.
Yeah. Flag.
So he's on their list.
It's like last week, dude, in Kansas City, man, that, we had K9 come in there, bust out an awesome run play, that first play of the game. And then it gets called back because DK was like fucking holding. And it's like these minor little, and that one's a little bit more bullshit, I think. I didn't necessarily think it was as bad. But yeah, you see him get in the face of these people, and it's just not good, man. It's like we've lost a lot of, positive plays because of his antics.
And it's just he's taking it overboard, like we've said. I think that it's okay and healthy if you're going to talk shit and talk trash and try to get in the mind of somebody else. That's a dimension of the game that is invaluable. It is
very much so.
But when he's doing it and then he starts doing that, just the minor stuff that he's trying to exercise as part of the game, the refs are going to pick up on even the small shit because he's on their list. So he needs to just tone it down altogether until he can get the respect again that he's just playing the game and passionate.
We talk about respect.
His passion is big for that. Tell you, I know that personally. It's like he's got a lot of, he knows who he is and what he can bring to the table. And when that's not happening, sometimes it builds up and you're a little passionate about that, and he might be taking that out on the other guys,
Well, we talk about respect and whatnot, dude. Tyler Lockett missing only one game, Rich, and he's already back in the lineup here after suffering a broken finger. But he only went 2 for 15 today. Talk about DK getting shut out. DK got 3 yards today, dude. Yeah. I didn't even realize that, dude. He had 1 reception for 3 yards on 5 targets.
We had to lean on other guys. And one person I didn't write down that I just thought about now was all over the place, Colby Parkinson today.
Oh, 36 yards off, averaging 7.2, 12 yards at the longest. He had 7 targets, dude. That's a very productive day out there.
You always get those comments in my household. I always talk about my living room comments. Oh, I love his hair. That's my wife, he's...
So it's good to have a lady's perspective of the NFL game.
Oh, dude, yeah.
For sure.
Man, let me tell you, it's actually really neat when you hear those comments because it's like, hey, that's probably what a woman would pick up on. He uses some good conditioner or something, right?
Right. I wonder what he uses, Head and Shoulders.
But so on the one play, the very first play when it was a touchdown, he went out and he threw up his arm. When they throw up their arm, like
I saw that.
That's basically saying, I know that I've got this, throw it to me. And because he
was working that play too, dude. Like he was it's amazing he caught that.
He was single covered and he was covered by a lot shorter than him, cornerback. Right. And even if that cornerback's got some vertical skills, Colby Parkinson's like what, 6'7", 6'6"? We've always said he's almost as tall as all the linemen. So he's 6'7" or right there, about 6'7".
6'7", 251 pounds, Rich.
And then how much more are his arms? Probably 3 feet. So he's 10 foot just before he even jumps.
Damn, dude. Yeah.
Serious.
For sure.
So the little guy, they're like, oh man, he's like, throw it to me, I got a little guy.
It was a complete mismatch for sure, dude.
And they picked up on it.
Yeah. That first touchdown. Well, you talk about that first drive, dude. You had K9 pulling off that, like, what was that, a 60-yard run? I'm pretty sure.
It was 58 or something. Yeah, 48 or 58.
So he busts out that run, and then, they try to run it again for minimal yardage. And then first passing play of the game, it goes to Parkinson, dude, and it's got the touchdown. It was just right like that, dude. We were on the board. It was like, this is the momentum that we needed. Yeah. This is what we've been talking about for weeks, dude. And, definitely that first half, man, you got to give it to Gino. You got to give it to our offense, man. They were playing lights out. It seemed like, we if we could keep that up, dude, we were going to win by a lot today, which all it took was 23, dude. That's all it took today. But damn, dude, what a game, dude. What a game, Rich.
It's like you got to energize that home crowd early. The earlier, the better, because they're going to help you. They're going to keep that energy going for you as the team. And so we've seen that time and time again. So I love those moments where we come out on fire, where we score and we're, making sense and executing. Those are the best days because that it means that we have the momentum in the game and we're at home. Those are the 2 best things that you can hope for.
Damn, dude. I'm just looking at the stats here. And Gino, dude, he threw to 9 different people today, dude. There was 10 receivers out there. Shout out Cade Johnson, who had he had two targets, but unfortunately did not pick them up. But damn, dude, That's
Laquan
crazy.
Treadwell's doing good. I guess he was originally drafted by Minnesota Vikings, and it's my understanding that obviously he's been on a bunch of teams, and I've seen guys come here that make a difference sometimes, and it's a difference for them as well, and they stick around. So we'll keep an eye on Laquan Treadwell, and then of course,
he was a first round pick back in 2016, man.
Yeah, from the Vikings, right?
Yep. Yeah, Minnesota Vikings. Yep.
So, and then I wanted to touch base on Godwin Igwebuike. Is that right? Igwebuike?
I think you got it. I think you nailed it.
And no, he's back in there. He was doing some kick returns, and he also got in there at the end of the game as running back.
Yep, I saw that.
And then speaking of the running backs, obviously I was like, DJ Dallas is coming through and getting some opportunities.
Dude, DJ Dallas had a great day today.
He looks great. He had like shy of a couple yards of 50-ish, close to 50 passing and close to 50 running.
Yeah, 55 receiving and then 43 on the ground.
That's a well-rounded day for a compliment to the main running back. In fact, why don't they at some point be able to turn that into what they call running back by committee, right? Where they're sharing loads and they can actually sit on the sideline and rest, and the other guy goes in, and it's just like, again, you're recharging the battery, the other guy's using his battery, so to speak. And I think they'd be a great complement to each other. And
they keep it up, dude. I mean, moving forward, man, we got one more game next week, dude.
If you want to run the ball that much, and then again, Igwebuike could come in there as well and be a guy that maybe he can be in our future as well. And then we got Homer, runs like a dog. He's just not there this week. So I'm excited about our running back group. And I know coach is as well.
Dude, Ken Walker went for 133 yards today, dude, on 23 attempts. Like,
he's maturing as well.
Last two games have been pretty decent for him.
You watch how he's patient as he hits the line, and then he'll see that little bit of that hole that's supposed to develop the way the play is designed, if it develops, and boom, he's through it, like John Madden would say, boom, and he's through that hole, and he just hits that acceleration, and then he's gone. And that was what happened. You don't see it develop, but when it happens, it's just like, oh shit, he's out of there. Like, there he goes.
He's out. He's gone, dude. I mean, it sucks that he didn't get a touchdown today. I think that was the only thing that was like missing from that performance today, was seeing him cross the goal line with the kids football, dude. I mean, geez, dude, what a day. 133 yards.
I guess he's still nursing the ankle, but it's not it's like a outside of his ankle, I guess. And
they actually mentioned that's actually been like something he's been dealing with since college.
He's toughing it out.
Yeah.
He ain't no Jamal Adams. He's K9
I know. Did you see Jamal Adams up in the press box today wearing that
leather and whatever?
That leather jacket. He's on the field giving the Jets all like hugs and stuff. Like,
I want you to be a showboat superstar and glamorous in public when you're proving that you're earning your money.
I know, and they showed the two draft picks that the Jets used to that Wilson, that wide receiver, like whatever his name was, and then some other guy. I didn't quite catch the exact position it was, but that Mike Wilson guy, I mean, or was it Mike Wilson? I think it was actually Mike Wilson. I actually have the information right in front of me.
Well, yeah, they've got a few Wilsons.
Garrett Wilson.
Yeah, it's a receiver Wilson, and then the quarterback is Zach Wilson, and then Mike White is his backup. But I get it. We don't pay attention to the Jets. You've got most of those names right.
Yeah. But it's just crazy that we gave up 2 first-round picks, dude, to the Jets. I mean, luckily we didn't give them like top 5 picks or anything like what the Denver Broncos are giving to us this year. Maybe that's
not that bad.
No. I mean, they always got mid. We're always middle of the round, dude. For the most part, dude. Those middle of the teens or whatever, if not high 20s or low 20s. I mean, high 20s would mean that we actually progressed further than the divisional round for once in the playoffs. But unfortunately, that hasn't been the case. But let's go ahead and get right into it, man. I want to talk about the playoffs, dude. We are still in contention, miraculously. If we can win out, if we can take care of business next week and defeat the lowly Los Angeles Rams, and if the Green Bay Packers lose, dude, like we're in. We're in the wild card.
Yeah. And who knows what happens from there, because a lot of these teams are beat up, maybe more than we are. Look
at the Eagles, dude. Eagles have dropped 2 straight.
Yeah, and they had their starters in. The Minnesota lost today too, and I believe their starters were in. So there was some upsets today. I don't know what happened with the 49ers Raiders, but it was tied last time.
49ers won they won with a field goal at the end.
At the very end, okay. Because that one was even close. And it's not like, I don't think, well, the 49ers, their starters are their starters. Even if it's a third-string quarterback, he's proven that he's first-string caliber. But so the playoffs, if we get there, I think we have just as good a chance as any of the teams that are in the same category as us, kind of on the bubble like we've been talking about.
Right.
You know, we're not on this on fire, home field advantage, in the best position to go into the playoffs. But again, that doesn't mean that you can't go into the playoffs and be an underdog and surprise people. So if we get that opportunity, that'll be very exciting.
Okay, so this is going to be in reference back to the beginning of the podcast here. So when I'm looking at on NFL.com at the playoff picture specifically, we're the Seattle Seahawks are listed in the hunt with an 8-8 record, but it says on the bubble with the number 8 ranking number 8 is the Lions, which are also 8-8, and then the Packers are 8-8, which they're ranked at number 9 according to this information I'm looking at. Which technically we have a win over the Lions this season, so I don't understand how if the Packers are below the Lions, then do we just have to win out? Like, I don't understand. Like,
doesn't it have to do with the division that you're in, maybe in being second place or something in that division, or is it just overall? Because, or maybe it's not that, or maybe it's so they have to have tiebreaker conditions.
I'm looking at it right now. I actually have it pulled up.
Yeah, so it's probably they have more divisional wins within their own respective division that basically
it's like they got like strength of victory in all games, strength of schedule in all games, best won, lost, tied percentage in common games, best one. So there's about 12 different things that constitute like
they have to have
three or more clubs
stuff
that are in a tiebreaker. So okay, so we need the Packers to lose then. They need to lose next week, and they're playing the Lions actually.
Yeah, we have to win, they have to lose. I mean, bottom line, and I don't even know if that still guarantees it. It sounds like it does from what they were saying all day today. So, but I don't think there's any other scenario. It's just us winning, beating the Rams. Yeah. And again, the Lions are a good team. They're a up and coming team as compared to what they were.
They have just as much of a chance as, I mean, if we lose next week and they beat the Packers, wouldn't that mean the Lions get in?
I don't know, but
I'm pretty sure, dude.
They have a late surge. They have a late surge that they've been doing.
Yeah, I mean,
I think it would make sense.
I mean, we're ahead of the Lions, but I mean, if the Lions beat the Packers and we win, then we win. We're in the playoffs. So, yeah, man. I mean, respectively, if we lose and they beat the Packers, bam, they're in the wild card, dude. So it's really exciting going into the NFL the end of the season here. Whether or not next week goes our way, I mean, it's left to be seen, obviously. It's and again, hopefully if we do get in, hopefully our offense can continue to build off today's game going to next week, continue to build, score, get back to that level where we're scoring all those touchdowns when we were one of the top offensive teams in the NFL earlier this season. If we can recreate that magic, dude, there's no telling where we can go at this point.
Yeah. And if not this year, then next year is going to be just as exciting. We'll have more time to talk about next year. But, again, with this draft capital that we have and stuff, briefly, we have a lot of opportunity to plug some of these holes and bring that youth right in there so that we have a team that's going to grow together. And that's really exciting in itself.
Well, speaking of draft picks, let's go ahead and take a look at our weekly Denver spotlight. You see Denver holding on to the third pick currently, obviously our pick specifically, based on the trade. But yeah, standing at 4-12, I believe they lost to the Kansas City Chiefs, which at one point I remember seeing the score, and I think the Broncos were actually leading the game at one point. I mean, going into dude,
they were.
I don't know,
27 to 24 or something at one point, or they were up 24 to 21. The Denver was up a few times on them there, so I tried to listen in on that one. I had radio feed on it. Heard Russell Wilson got intercepted once when he was driving down, trying to make a touchdown, and he threw an interception in the end zone. But then they punted it out, and the Chiefs, after they scored, their guy missed it, muffed the catch, the punt return. Right. They got it at the 16-yard line. The very first play, Russell Wilson ran it in for 16. I'm like, wait a second. All right, that's Russell Wilson. He's like, wants to win. So, yeah, it was a battle. And I'm sitting there going, this is, I'm kind of paying attention to those games more than I am. I'm just being funny, but just as much as I am with my team, because that draft pick is really important to me right now. It really is. I want to see us stay top 3 at least. But man, can you imagine if we get it first one? And then have the Texans played yet?
So the Texans did lose today to the Jacksonville Jaguars. They were blown out today. It was not a pretty game for the Texans, unfortunately. So Chicago also losing as well, I believe. Chicago played the Lions today. They lost 41-10, dude. So
they're
continuing their losing streak of lost 9 straight. It's crazy out there. Crazy out there in the NFC.
Same record.
North.
Do they all have the same record right there?
No. So Houston's 2-13-1. Chicago's 3-13. Denver is 4-12. Arizona's 4-12. Indianapolis is 4-11-1. So I guess it could switch it up between Arizona. I mean, depending on how next week goes, I guess you'd have to see who they're all playing and stuff. But
I think Arizona's playing the Niners next week, I believe. I had that on my last little sheet here.
And the Niners, dude. I mean, right now, dude, with their win today, dude, they're up there in the playoffs. So surprisingly, dude, they had a 12-4 record this year, dude. I remember earlier in the season we were talking. I remember bringing it up that I saw some sort of like percentage breakdown that there were like the 49ers had like a 70% chance, and this is during our like when we were winning, and I was like, no way, dude. There's no way we're gonna win out, dude. Easily, the Seahawks are NFC West champions, right? And unfortunately, it didn't play in our favor, dude. But hopefully the 49ers win next week. I guess we're rooting for the 49ers against the Cardinals.
Yeah, because we're never going to root for the 49ers in other scenarios such as other than this, right? Yeah. So
exactly.
that was a hard one to get out, but I think everybody knew exactly what I was thinking. It's just like we would never root for the 49ers.
We're with you, Rich. We're with you this whole time.
Situation, we will. See, there you go. Those overthinkers in the world. But I don't know. I think I'm good on all that. I can't wait to see what happens next week. I'll be at the game. I don't know if it's on Saturday or Sunday yet. That was considered a flex game.
Yeah, it's going to be. They're going to find out tomorrow, I believe.
So it still hasn't been announced. So
until Monday.
Us ticket holders, we have to wait and plan, which is kind of frustrating but kind of exciting at the same time. We're rooting for Saturday because that way we have Sunday to recover. Because that's a long day when you travel. Drive. Yeah, long drive, the game and everything. Just the whole process is, 12 to 13 hours.
Tough on the body, dude. It's a tough drive, dude. Hell yeah.
It's worth it. It's worth it. But if you can get a day of recovery before going back to work that next Monday, then I'm rooting for Saturday.
Exactly, dude. Exactly, Rich Harris. Well, again, I'm really happy that we came in today. Our offense played well. Outside of getting those several field goals, and a handful of punts, like. I thought we did really well today, dude. Our run game was there. Our Geno was good for at least the first half, getting a couple touchdowns. I don't know, man. I'm excited for next week. Los Angeles Rams, like you said, you're going to be there. I'm going to be on the couch watching it here in Yakima, ready to go. Hopefully, dude, this time next week, dude, we're celebrating a playoff berth, man.
Yeah. It'll be another one of those pleasant surprises that we've had this year, but we're positive thinkers, right? We both see the glass as half full, and that's why you and I predicted, I think it was in May or something, we were preparing for all this whole thing. I think it's on, like I said, it's on tape. You convinced me it is. We both said it would be 9-8 because I wanted to break even, but we don't have an even amount of games anymore. We have 17 games. So I said, if I'm going to have to break even and think we're going to have an average half and half year, then I'll have to favor to the side of the 9 out of the 8. And you agreed. I think we were both on the same page, actually.
Well, going into the season, dude, our hopes, and you always have hopes, you're always like, okay, I hope this goes well. I really hope the season goes well. Yeah, I always have to have optimism, that positivity. But I was ready that, if it didn't go our way, which, for part of the season it didn't, that was tough, but it is what it is. And moving into if next Sunday or next week is our last podcast till next season, damn, dude, what a season to go out on, dude. We got the possibly the number 3 overall pick in the NFL draft coming up in April. And again, like you said, man, there's just a lot of, again, hate to use the word again so recently or so soon, but optimism, dude. I think optimism is something that we definitely have to have as a Seahawks fan.
Oh yeah. I'm always an optimistic Seahawks fan myself, and I think that's the best Seahawks fans, the 12s are to our team, to support them thick and thin, like we always talking about. And I'm never going to have any negativity or pessimistic attitude towards my team, because it's always, you always have to have a positive attitude, right? If you're the old school booster clubs, right? When I played Little League baseball, we had the booster clubs, and they were always bringing you lemonade and sandwiches and potato chips and shit, right? Even when you were losing playing baseball, just keep the vibe high. So yeah, optimism is great, and I think even if we don't win, and like I said, this year doesn't continue, we're looking into next year, and we'll already have plenty to do to start entertaining ourselves for the next year, and looking at that optimistic outcome that we'll have once we can actually pull some more triggers and get some more of this draft capital that we have in play.
Gonna leave it on those final words, Rich Harris. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we'll see you guys next week. Peace.
Can you win a game in the first quarter? No! Can you win the game in the second quarter? No! Can you win the game in the third quarter? No! Can you win the game in the fourth quarter?